Hey everybody, Corey here with NoobComputerBuild.com. I'm here today to talk about something a little bit different than usual. It's a peripheral. It's this gaming mouse right here. It's the Corsair Darkcore RGB Pro mouse, wireless mouse for gaming. And they market it as an FPS MOBA mouse, which I can see. I haven't used it quite yet, it's still in the box, which I can see. But what I'm super excited about is the Slipstream technology. So I've been kind of weary of wireless gaming mouses literally forever because they used to not be that good. The latency used to be really high, so it wouldn't be quite as quick as having a wired mouse. Some people might not notice it, but if you're playing FPS games and things like that, you do notice a bit of a lag, and then there's that chance of disconnecting mid-gameplay, which is always something you want to avoid. But what this mouse promises is 3 ways to connect. So there's the Slipstream technology dongle that comes with it, as well as Bluetooth, and then as well as you can just plug it in wired, which is exciting. That way it can continuously charge, but it does promise up to a 50,000 hours, wow, that's a lot of time. 50-hour charge time. So what we're going to do today is I'm going to unbox this baby. I'll show you what's inside, show you kind of what the mouse feels like, and kind of do an overview of that. And then what we're going to do is we're going to go through some of the features. It has hyperpolling up to 2000 hertz. Will that matter? I'm not sure. That's the frequency at which it communicates with your PC. Typically 1000, I believe, is a gaming mouse, so we'll see if that even matters with regards to playing games. And then what we're going to do is see how it charges using USB-C, and then see how that's all set up. And then with the Corsair Q software, see how that works with the RGB lighting and the different RGB zones it has, and see how that looks and how it syncs up. No, I'm not necessarily looking forward to the RGB necessarily, but it doesn't hurt to have a really cool looking mouse regardless, in order to customize and kind of have a seamless look with everything else you got going on with your setup. And so also what comes with it is a PixArt native sensor. So it's one of the higher end sensors out there right now, which is good. And it promises up to 18,000 DPI, which is fully customizable at 1 FPS increments, which is very precise, that you can pre-program into the mouse, which is great. So you can go up to 18,000, which I don't know if many players out there do, but if you're a high-end, specifically FPS or maybe a MOBA player, it might help you as well. I know I usually set mine up in 3 different DPI zones, so kind of a low, middle, and then high, and then I use that kind of really low button to really narrow it down if you're sniping and things like that. So before we get started here, I just want to touch on what's important for a gaming mouse for me. So when I'm going over this mouse, what am I looking for? So first with this one specifically, it's the wireless mode. I want to make sure that it is reliable. I don't notice any latency issues, and that there's no problems there. But also what I look for is, I know I've used mice that I use frequently, and I don't change mice too often because we kind of get used to what we're used to, but the ones I've used are typically, I like to max out the weight. That's just me. I like a heavier mouse. Not to say, and then I know there's certain ones that are customizable and things like that. So I do like heavier, but I also like it to contour into my hand, so I don't claw grip it or anything like that. And due to the length of time that I use it, I do like it to obviously be of high-end quality in terms of material, because you don't want the plastic buttons running out or have them squeaking after a while. And things like that. Otherwise it becomes completely unusable. Now what is going to be important for me is the reliability of the mouse in the long term. So if I'm going to use this mouse going forward, it needs to be the material needs to be a bit of high quality, so harder plastics and things like that. I do like a rubber grip and stuff like that. But what this one has is what Corsair is calling Omron switches. Not calling, they are Omron switches, and then they're rated for up to 50 million clicks. So 50 million clicks, that's insane. So I don't know how many the average clicks per day or year or anything like that is, but it seems pretty high to me. And so that's good to know. I know in the 2 previous, I've used 2 major mice, which I might get into in a few seconds here, over the last, I want to say 6 years. So I use them for quite a long time each, so maybe 3 years each. And the first one I had really got discolored. The material wasn't that good, but it still held up in terms of the buttons never kind of failed on me. Then the second one I have looks like it's brand new since day one. All right, here we are. Let's unbox the Darkcore RGB Pro. So here we have is the box, Darkcore RGB Pro on the side, with or without wires. What we're going to do is just pop open the stickers on the top here. There we go. It's open. So we're going to open it up here. And what we're going to have inside is the mouse. All right, so what we have in the box so far is we have the actual mouse encased here, and what came out was the USB to charge and then directly connect. So we have USB-C here to USB-A, and then we have the guide and a few other things. Let's just dump all that out there. So we have the warranty guide, interesting. We have the instruction manual, the safety and compliance information, which I'm not going to go through, but interesting nonetheless. We have the Dark Core RGB Pro manual, great. Again, I digress. And then the mouse. So here we have the cord. It's actually one of the nicer ones because it actually has that mesh around the outside. It's not just the plastic USB, which I appreciate. It kind of gives it that higher quality feel. And then in the back here, let's pop her open on the top with that flap out. And there we go. And here we go. So now I'm just going to set the mouse aside and we're just going to pop into the inside. So here we have, and that's it for inside the box. So not too much in here, but we have all the necessities. So we have the mouse, and then here we have a thumb or a pinky grip, I believe it is. So it's an attachment that we can put on the side here and pop up this one for that extension. And then we have the Slipstream dongle or whatever, USB dongle. So we have that, which is great. So this is what I'm excited about because I believe this will give me the best response time. I know Bluetooth is great too, and at least Bluetooth 4.0 I haven't had any issues with anything else. It was back in the day when you try to connect through Bluetooth and things would intermittently disconnect all the time. And then here's the mouse. So here we have, here I'm just going to move the light over just a bit. So nothing too special. It's plastic wrapped on the bottom to protect the bottom there, which is great. We have the on switch from Bluetooth to on to, I believe this got to be the Slipstream connection. All right, so let's just go over the mouse really quickly here with regards to what's on it. So we have here the left click button, we have the right click button, we have the middle click button, clicks down and scrolls. One thing I just noticed, doesn't have a scroll lock button, which I don't appreciate, just because I like to be, and this isn't a gaming issue, this is more of a browsing the web issue, is where you have that lock button right here and you can unlock it and have that free scroll, but it's kind of just the one scroll, kind of goes click, 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 click very lightly. It's very nice and smooth, except it doesn't have that free scroll where you can unclick and then it just kind of free rolls. So that's just one thing that I like in a mouse, but it's not the biggest thing in a gaming mouse in general, but as an overall use mouse case scenario. Next thing we have on here is the profile select button, which is right here. We have the DPI up button, which is this one here. So if you want to increase your DPI and then DPI down, and then on the side here, we then have the forward button and the backward button. So forwards and backwards. We have the battery indicator, which is up here. You can see right here, which will indicate, depending on the color, what your battery's at, which is great. So you can know right on the fly as you're playing. And then what we have is the USB charging and data port, which is right on the front here, right there with USB. Then on the side here, we have the DPI profile status LED indicator, because there's 3 profiles that you can save to. So 1, 2, 3, so you know which one you're on. Then we have the optical sensor on the bottom here, which is right there, as per usual. Nothing too exciting there. And then we have the glide pads on the bottom, which are kind of rock solid. I like them because they seem like they'd be smooth, but you can see here I just moved my fingernail across it and kind of scratched a bit, but that is fairly typical of gaming mice out there, but hopefully that doesn't wear down too much over time. Then we have the power wireless mode switch, which is right over on the bottom. So you can go from Bluetooth to Slipstream to wireless, or to, wired, and just have the mouse on that way. So if it was plugged in right now, it'd be working, otherwise Bluetooth or wireless. It's kind of the button, the left and right. They're like a hard plastic. Looks like they'd be good. Looks like they might get a little greasy though, if I was eating popcorn or something, as I do when I play games. And then on the front here, the actual back, I don't know what to call it. It's kind of a rubber kind of bumpy rubber. So it has that grip, it's smooth. And then on the side, it's similar, but not. So this is like a smooth, soft material. And then on the side, it still has the bump, so the grip, but it's not the kind of rubbery feeling material. It's more of a plastic with the bumps on it, which is fine because it kind of makes it easier for your thumb to move around, but your palm will be great on the palm rest. But on the top, I'm not fully in love with the buttons so far, but they seem very responsive. Well, they just seem like they might get a little greasy, which is okay. In terms of weight, just my impressions based on the mice I've used, and I'll put, what was the weight of this mouse again? The weight of this mouse without the cables and accessories is 133 grams or 0.31 pounds. So that's okay. Like it has a good amount of weight, but not too much weight. I would appreciate if it had a little more weight. Quite honestly, I like the customizable weight options that some mice come with that you can plug them in. But I'm happy that it's not too light, but it has enough heft to it that I would be okay using it. Let's take off the plastic on the bottom here and slide that out of the way. And the bottom here is it's that typical hard plastic that makes it good, easy and smooth to kind of glide the mouse across the mouse pad. I'm not using one here, but it feels great, feels good. But yeah, let's get up to actually connecting the mouse and seeing how it performs live. We want to touch on the right side grip. On the right side here, you see this is the default grip, so where your pinky goes. When you're using it, it's kind of just smooth to start with, but they come with this one for a wider grip. So what we're going to do, if you pop this off like that, just right on the bottom, comes right off. We can pop the other one on, relatively easy. It snaps into place like so. That's the light in there. It kind of just snaps in, as you can see. A little loose, however, let's see. Yeah, it's a little loose. That bothers me a little bit, but that's fine because the mouse rests like this. Oh, and look, there's a little spot for your dongle there, which is nice, so you can take it on the go with you, and then just kind of swap that out like that. It's kind of nice. If you can kind of see here, my pinky goes here, and then, yeah, I'm not gonna lie, it really makes for kind of a smooth. I'm used to having my pinky just kind of sliding around on the mouse pad, but it really makes it smooth. So what we're going to do first is set it up through connecting it directly, and then we'll do the setup that way. So I literally have just plugged the mouse in. What we can see here is that it's flashing through the different lighting scenarios it has. All right, so we're going to set up, we got our IQ software now. Now what we're going to do is start off by, this can be used to control the mouse's RGB lighting and then the settings within the mouse. So we're going to start off with configuring the RGB backlighting. There are 9 lighting zones on our Corsair RGB Pro. We have the scroll wheel here. We have the integrated side lighting. We have the left side rear, so in the back. We have the Corsair logo itself, right there. And then we have the DPI profile LED indicator, which is the one, we're on the one right there. So if I switch those out, I can go up. Ooh, let me click there. Boom, boom, boom. We're going to go down again. We clicked into our device settings here. So we have the Corsair this is the mouse that we see here. It's in sync to what we see in front of us. Scroll through the different settings of it. So we can, different sides, we can see the back, we can see the front and the top. So now we're going to play around with this and just see the different settings that we can come up with. What we're going to do is start with the, let's start with the lighting effects, but we're going to leave them all on. I'm going to maybe the speed, crank it up to a fast, so now it's cycling pretty quickly. And then what else can I do here? I'm going to change one of the profiles, so let's do visor. That's kind of cool. Yeah, kind of like trancy RGB lighting. That's cool. And then other ones, and so you can sync this up with your fan lights too, if you have compatible fans or other RGB lightings. What we're going to jump into next is let's do the DPI stuff. So we have the default 3 DPI zones. So we can select the DPI indicator color. I like that because you can see on the side here we're on the 1 there, and it's teal. So, but if we wanted to jump to this one, or change to which one, everyone's default, I don't want the default being 800 DPI. I want to change that to something like, I kind of like even 3000 being my minimum. Let's go 3000, 6000. And then just because I'm going to try out the 18,000 that this mouse supports. And then the sniper, 400 sounds good. It's, oh my God. It's an, I don't think I would ever use 18,000 DPI. I mean, it works smooth. Like I can get the mouse across pretty good. I just did 18,000, test it out, but let's just do 10. All right, here I just wanted to dive into the last few things in the iCUE software. So hardware actions is macros, so we can set up some macros for this. So if you have some, I don't use macros too often, but if you do, this is where you would set them up. We did the DPI settings, we did the performance settings, so we did the hardware lighting and the DPI, and then we the performance in terms of the enhanced point of precision. So what you can do is angle snapping here and mouse acceleration settings in order to increase pointer speed, but the default settings should be okay for most users. And then what we're going to do is jump over to the next one. So we did the surface calibration, which is great. What the mouse comes pre-calibrated for is for the Corsair mouse pads. We have our onboard profiles, of which you can save storage right on the mouse. So you can customize your lighting macros and other things like that and save it straight to the mouse's onboard storage. Then in the settings, what we did was we set up the device polling to 2000. It comes default at 1000. We'll see if we notice that when we're gaming. And then we have the backlighting and brightness, which is essentially on or off options. And then we have the sleep timer and the configure sleep timer duration. So we can, I'm gonna leave it on 15 minutes. And then enable battery gauge and system taskbar. I'm actually going to enable that. And then on our taskbar, it appears as a little battery icon. And then what we're going to do is reconnect the USB wireless dongle. We're going to initiate that. So now we're successful. We've wirelessly connected to our, so we have our, in our USB, we have attached the dongle. So that's boom. Oh, no device connected. Now I'm going to connect to the wireless. Turn the mouse on. We'll see how fast it connects. Boom, 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 boom. And it should actually, are we connected? We're already connected. So that took what, literally a second. So let me just turn it off again. Oh, that's Bluetooth, don't want Bluetooth. Off, so that we're in wired mode right here. What we're gonna do is click it right back onto the slipstream and we're connected literally, I don't know, it took 1-2 seconds. So my initial thoughts here are, it fits the hand really well. So the mouse fits, I have the pinky rest on there, and it makes it feel really wide and robust. My initial thoughts were that the mouse does have some heft, even without the wires. In terms of weight, it's not the heaviest I've used. The mouse I use in my daily is a little bit heavier, but out of the box, I don't mind it. It's smooth. The tracking is very, very smooth. And I don't know if it's that new mouse feel or what, but it feels very nice. Again, the sniper button, one of the forward and back buttons, I think I might set the forward one to be my sniper one. Currently, it's not operating in that way, but there's not another button to really, an obvious one to really choose, because here's our DPI selectors up and down, and I have it on the first one there, which I think I initially set up as 3000 DPI, then I set up 6000, 10,000, because that's comfortable for me at the moment, even though it goes up to 18,000, but 18,000 is insane. I'm not that great of an FPS player. The thing I don't like is, and this isn't in this game specifically, is that there's no lock for the scroll wheel. I mean, it's kind of nice. It flows and it goes click, 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 not click, but it's a smooth kind of bump as you do this. But I do like the ones that you can unlock and free scroll, especially if you're like rolling through weapons or something. Like for me, I like to unclick and then quickly slide it. But this works well too, because it's smooth. That's one downside of the mouse. And then again, it's this hard plastic. I think this hard plastic's quality and it'll last for a while. However, it might discolor a bit, get a little greasy. However, the back of it it forms into my palm nicely, and it feels nice. Like It's not really rubber, I don't know what it is, but it really just feels nice. It has that bump. And then on the side, there's the bumps as well. It's a harder plastic, but it rests on my thumb nicely, and everything kind of just fits. The mouse fits well. And as you can see, we're in wireless right now. We're using Slipstream. I don't notice any delay in latency or anything like that. In fact, it connected instantaneously. I was surprised at how quickly it connected. I didn't have to do anything other than load up the iCUE software to make it sure it's all working and set up the settings for the initial setup. But I have kind of this crazy RGB lighting going on right now. I'm not going to keep it like this, but I just want to do this for kind of demonstration purposes to kind of show you all the different zones. You can kind of see it's going there, and then you can kind of customize those. I might make it one, I like kind of the breathing, the one solid color where it kind of breathes, kind of goes with the rest of my build. But overall, I like it. There's the 3 settings. I don't usually go, you can have multiple profiles, which you can select here, but really I'm basic. I just like the 3 DPI settings. So the first one, second one, third one. So here, I'll switch for you. Let me just get my finger up there. So third. So this is, I have this one on the quickest DPI, second, and then the third. That's really what I use my mouse for. I don't really set up any fancy macros or anything because I'm about as basic as it gets. But overall, I like it smooth on my trackpad. It's nice. It forms into my hand nicely. In terms of my daily previous mouse, the only difference, like I said, were those 2 things. So overall, I'd say it's a solid pick. This mouse starts at $79.99 right now. So it's kind of in the middle in terms of premium mouses, and I would say especially in terms of including things like the hyperpulling and the Slipstream technology. So I'm quite pleased with that.